What's up? Figured I'd do a little video tonight. Show you guys this cool design that a customer requested. Right now I'm just cutting the excess off. I always leave one side not cut off, and I will show you why in a second. So here's my cup, blank sublimation cup. So I always make sure your image is right side up. I've put them upside down before. So when you wrap it around, you want that image to line up perfect. If you can see in there, that image lines up perfect. But this white gives me something to pull on, because if it was right butt to butt with each other, I wouldn't be able to get my fingers in there and pull on it. So with having this little piece of white right here, it gives me something to pull on, because the sublimation needs to be super tight to the cup. So I do better when I lay it down. I say that and then I can't. Some of these things will be a little tricky. You just want to pull it as tight as you can, just enough to get one piece of tape on it. So we're going to pull it down just a little bit. So there's just a little tiny lip showing at the top, and then there's these cups, they actually round over right here, so you don't want to come all the way down or you're going to get a ton of ghosting right in here. I know you can see it right there where it lips in a little bit, so you want to come just above that lip. Get your tape dispenser. One good piece of tape in the center. Super tight. So you don't like how that lays. Okay, one piece. Then you're gonna put, I'm using a press, so you don't have to tape as much. That's the reason I wanted to go with a press so bad. With an oven, you'd have to, I mean, I have an oven. I did it with an oven for a while. You have to tape this whole seam up. The whole seam would have to be taped all the way down. Now with sublimation, you only have to do, I don't know, 10 pieces of tape max. A lot of people say 3, one at the bottom, one at the top, one in the center, but I was having some issues of not being able to pull it tight enough when I did that. So for me, it's really not that much more tape. Is to just put what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. One at the top, one at the bottom, one in the center, and then one in the center of each of those. And then if I see the bottom, okay, you can see it. It looks like it's pushed out a little bit. Sometimes, like with this design, it's a really colorful design. There's a ton of color and deep color into this. I'll put a piece of tape around this, or I'll just make sure my press is clamped down super tight. Same with your top. You want to make sure it's flush. You see there's no area sticking up. It is pretty flush with the cup. So we might go ahead and tempt this one, even with that on the bottom like that. We'll just make sure she's clamped super tight. And then you're going to put it, when you put it in here, you don't want the seam ever, when you close this all the way, there's going to be a little bit of a gap right here. So you never want this to be in that gap at all. So you want to put it in somewhere to where this seam is not in that gap, so we need to make sure there's a ton of pressure on this seam. So we'll slide it in. Make sure it's hot. We're going to really clamp down on it. Then we'll go at 365 for 30 seconds. And once our 30 seconds is done, we're going to take it and we're going to rotate it, I don't know, halfway, just so that seam is on the opposite end. That way this little section that's bare is getting clamped also. And then you have this one that has a ton of color. I will clamp the ends too, but I'll show you that when I get to that point. We're going to stick a glove on. She's pretty warm. We'll go in, rotate it so that seam's pointing this way. Clamp down again. 30 seconds at 365. And then once this is up, I'll show you how I clamp the ends, just to make sure that color is really on that end, because like I said, this is a full color film, really deep, rich colors. So we'll see how this turns out in about 10 seconds. Okay, then we're going to come out here and we're going to clamp this end. For about 10 seconds. And just like when it's inside, we're going to rotate it because there is a little bit of a gap right here. And once we do this, we're going to flip it around, we're going to do this end. And then I do the cold water method. As soon as I'm done this, I don't know if it's a bunch of crap or not, but it makes me feel better because I can touch the cup faster. I have a bucket of cold water sitting right here. We're going to dip it right in that cold water. Right in that cold water. Let it sink down to that water. We're going to rotate her a little bit. Make sure the whole thing's submerged. She's still really hot. I've seen the only pain in the butt there is when you do this is this tape sucks to get off. It sticks all to the paper, which, I mean, you're just ripping it off. It doesn't have to look pretty. So once it cools down to where I can hold on to it for a long period of time, we will take the paper off. Supposedly this cold water, because sublimation is it turns into a gas. It turns in from a ink out of a machine. Once under pressure at 365, it turns into a gas, transfers itself to the sublimation cup. A lot of people just let it cool down and then do it, or they try to peel it hot, or like I said, the main reason I do this is because look, now I can touch it. Before, I have to let it sit there for 10-15 minutes before I was able to press it or take the paper off without burning my hands. This way I am, I don't know, a minute or two and it's fully cooled off. And supposedly it makes the color pop a little bit more. I mean, you can see it coming through. I don't know if you can see that or not, where it's coming through. So let's get you guys set back up. Let's set you back up. We'll pull the trash can over here. We'll peel this thing up and see what it looks like. Looks good so far. The only problem is with If you didn't dunk it in the water and you just peeled back this right here, and you could see that it didn't look it's not looking right, you could put it back in the press for a little bit. With the water method, you obviously can't because now it's soaking wet. We haven't run into that issue yet. But if anybody's watching this video coming from using an oven, you're probably like, oh, that's so much easier just to peel a couple pieces of tape. Then, because I used to use the oven, I used to be here for 5 minutes peeling all my tape off. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Ooh, okay, and then I've noticed when you dunk it in the water like that, the paper wants to stick to it a little bit, so I'll just take it and I'll put it in the water and I'll just rub all this paper right off. It falls right off under the water. So let's get it all cleaned off. And then dry it up, and then we'll show you guys because I don't get water on my table. That came out good. That's the only problem with this dunking in the water thing is you get water on the side, you get water on the outside, you get water everywhere. You got to keep a bucket of water here. It's completely up to you which way you want to go with that. Okay, I think we're dry enough to show you here. Look at that. Look at our seams. Our seam is, where's our seam? Our seam is right there. Well, this design, we got a little bit lucky. It came with a seamless design to where it came to where it's not such bright colors. But you can see, kinda, maybe, it seams in there. Look at our top lip, nice and pretty. Our bottom lip, nice and pretty. Look at them colors. Look at that detail. Love it. Cool. Came out good. Okay, so we have one more to do. I don't know if you want to sit here and do it with me or not. Guess you have to if you're watching the video. If not, you can leave. So let's do one more. This is a design. I gotta make sure there's no water on here because I've done that. Okay, this design, customer requested sunflowers and cow print. So I sent her 5 or 6 different designs, and this is what we came up with. This is the one she agreed that she liked. It's got some cow print in there. It's got some sunflowers in there. A little bit of blue, something going on in there. She liked it though. So that's what she's getting. Same with the other one. We're going to take a ruler, make sure it's not wet after dipping it in the cup. We are going to take one side off. Well, 3 sides off. We're going to leave one side open. For some reason, I don't know if anybody else has had this issue. I have the Epson 2800. You see how it's printed crooked? They're all like that, every one of them. See the gap here, and then there's like hardly any gap here. I don't know why it's doing that. You see at the bottom it's crooked too. But take it. So when I do this, I barely, you can see it. I'll show you. I barely leave a little tiny gap. Like, of course I moved it when I was trying to show you. Can you see that? Yeah, see the color coming through there? I just take off just a, shoot, I don't even know, it's not even a 16th. It's pretty tiny. A 32nd probably of color. you guys not set up right. Okay, we'll get that cut. I'm going to run through the whole process, no editing. I see so many videos on here, and they leave out little steps. Any questions? I have the Epson 2800. I bought this design on Etsy. Just looked up sunflowers and cow print or something, and it popped up. Like I said, I cut 3 sides off. Leave my little puller here. We'll get our blank cut. We'll make sure it's right side up. The good news is with this, it's not really, I don't really know if you can even go upside down with this print, but wrap it around. Sure it lines up good, lines up perfect. And do the same thing we did with the other and leave a little tiny lip at the top. Very little lip. The main reason I do this is I think it looks cleaner to have that little bit of a break off definition to it. I don't know, maybe it's just something I'm talking out of my butt about, but it makes me feel better. Got a little bit of a gap at the bottom. I'm gonna try to pull that. See my tab there, this makes it so I can really pull on it. Make sure our seam lines up here because this design kind of goes together, so we want to make sure it's straight. So we'll pull her nice and tight. Okay, let's put one piece of tape on it. I got it spun around the wrong way here. I'm a lefty. On there, pull it really tight. Okay, this is the tape dispenser I have. I'm sure if you've been on TikTok or you're following sublimation at all, you've seen this kind of thing. It's cool. I actually changed it out. There's teeth in here that cut it every so, I don't know, they cut it however long that is. I don't know, 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches. It was set to every like inch, and I tore every other tooth, whatever you want to call it, I took out to make it so it cut longer, because the 1 inch was just nowhere near long enough for me. You just twist this thing, twist it up, and it's got 2 pieces of tape right there ready for me to pull off. I don't have to try to take my long piece here and pull it off and try to rip it while I'm trying to hold the cup. It just makes it a little simpler. It's just kind of a fancy thing you can get. It's not nothing. You can do it with a regular tape dispenser. We're gonna pull that nice and tight. Again, one at the top, one at the bottom, one in the middle, and then one in the middle of each of the tops and bottoms, whatever you want to call that. And then again, if you feel comfortable, running a big old piece down the seam here. I've done it before. I actually might do it on this one because it looks like it wants to stick up a little bit, so more tape is not going to hurt anything, so feel like you're going to over tape it. You feel like it needs more tape, you put more tape on it. No harm done. It's pulled nice and tight. Seam around the top. You see that there? That's actually my excess tape. Everything else is nice and tight on there. Same with the bottom, nice and tight. No big wrinkles in it. It's nice and smooth. It's pulled about tight as I can pull it by hand. Okay, you ready to press it? Let's go. Again, press is set at 365, 30 seconds. We're gonna stick it in here. If I can find it. We're gonna put our seam never going to point up. It's always going to point at me first. Press it 30 seconds. Open it, spin it, so the seam is facing towards the wall, towards the back of the press. Shut it, 30 more seconds. It's pretty good pressure. Don't try to break the machine so much pressure, but enough where you got put a little grunt into it. We'll see what this comes out like. A lot of times if you listen to it, you can hear little gas bubbles or something popping in there. You hear a little sizzling. Our glove on. She's gonna be warm. Okay, rotate it. These are just cobalt gloves that have a rubber seam on them. I found them at Lowe's. They're alright. I mean, this rubber on here is not really made to be real hot. I've actually melted it in some places a little bit, and it will burn your hands if you hold on to a cup long enough. But they work good for just what I'm doing, grabbing it and rotating it real quick. It doesn't get your hands hot. We're gonna take it out. We're gonna do our out here. Do these end seams. Your main thing is if you can see the pattern coming through. Oh Lord, you can't even see it. What am I doing? If you can see your pattern coming through, that means you pressed it long enough. That means it's starting to come bleeding through. Rotate it. Do this end. As soon as we do this, we're gonna stick her in some hot water and let her cool off. Okay, bring you over here so you can see her in the hot water. Cold water, sorry. It's hot in cold water. Bring our trash can in here so we can. And you're gonna see me just rotating this thing around, get all of it in the water. And I'll dump the water out. Put some more fresh cold water in there. It's not really cold. It's more like room temperature water. I've probably done 10 plus cups in this thing of water here. And I'm out in my garage, so it's partially heated. It doesn't get under 55, 60 degrees in here when it's cold outside. So it's whatever it is in this room here, which is today it's 70 in here. So it's 70 degree water. I wouldn't recommend ice cold water because you take the chances of something cracking going from real hot to real cold. Okay, we'll let that drip out. And we'll see what's happened here. Let's see what we got. What we done did. Pull this main piece of tape off. Of course, I don't have you in the view, as you always. There we go. You guys have to let me know if you want these videos more. I'm just kind of out here working. Really, I'm not. So I'm trying to get some orders done. Cool. I can't get a hold of it. I cut my nails today. There we go. One more piece and we'll see what's happened here. Okay. Ooh. Looking pretty. Okay. Got a little bit of film on it. Like I said, when you do it in the water like that, it gets a. You just dunk it right in the water, run your hand up and down it, and it'll come right off. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I don't want to see her yet. Make sure I get her cleaned up before I show you guys. Okay, you can kind of see it there. Just try to get all this water out. I don't want water to get everywhere because this water in this sublimation film, I had a drop on my hand the other day and I was cutting another piece just like you saw me cutting, and it got on the film and it completely made the ink run. So I try to make sure I stay right over top of this trash can. Okay, here we go. Look at how shiny she is. Look at them colors, popping like crazy. Got our seam at the top, nice and pretty. Seam at the bottom, nice and pretty. And let's see if I can find my seam. Somewhere right there, right there. See it? Right there. Beautiful. I'm telling you, a press changed my life when it comes to sublimation cups. Let's bring it over here. This is the press I have. It's a... I don't even know. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe the next video I'll remember the name of it. There you go. I did 2 cups. I had 2 customers wanting stuff done today. We got the Scary Cup, and we got the Country Girl Cup. What do you think? Looks good, doesn't it? I'm telling you, press changed my life. Heats up in, golly days, 30 seconds. Oven, 30 minutes. Oven so inconsistent, so inconsistent. 1 minute it's running 350, then it's jumping up to 400, then it's down to 320. You can't trust it. It's just everywhere. So inconsistent. I was getting horrible seams, like horrible seams. I mean, white coming through, a whole bunch of bleeding up top. You just couldn't get enough pressure on it. I was doing the tape, the blue tape method all the way around it. I was doing the saran wrap, the shrink wrap, whatever you want to call it, all the way around it. Taping the living crap at it. I mean, I went through so much tape, just a waste of money. Spend that money on one of these. I just did 2 cups in, what, no time? I mean, start to finish. I mean, you can't count the time of it printing. It takes a little bit. And then 2 beautiful cups came out of the deal. No time at all. So, hopefully I can get on here and try to make more of these videos. And I'll see you guys later.